Good morning, boys and girls. So today I am going to be talking to you about your newest math topic, coordinate grids. So this may be something that you have learned about before, or it may not, but we are going to learn about it here together. So we're going to start by talking about some of the basic definitions that you're going to need to know when we're talking about coordinate grids, okay? I went ahead and drew out two lines. You'll notice that it's just like drawing a graph, okay? And just like with a graph, this part of the line is called the x-axis. So the line that runs horizontally is called the x-axis. And then the line that runs vertically or up and down, that's actually called the y-axis. Okay, so it's important that you know that when we're running horizontally or side to side, we're talking about the x-axis. And when we're going up and down, we're talking about the y-axis, okay? Another thing or another term that you need to know is that the point where the x and the y-axis meet, right here where they touch, this is called the point of origin, or sometimes it's called the origin point, okay? This just means that it's your starting point. So this is the point of origin, this is the starting point, this is where you're gonna start off every time you have to draw something or plot a point on a coordinate grid. So this is kind of like your starting line, okay? So we have the x and the y axis, and then the spot where they touch, which is called the point of origin, or sometimes called the origin point, okay? Something else that you need to know when we're learning about coordinate grids is that you're going to see numbers that are often written like this: a parentheses, a digit, a comma, a digit, and another parenthesis, okay? This kind of number, when it's written like this, is actually called an ordered pair. And it makes sense that it's called a pair because they always come in twos. You're never going to see an ordered pair with just one digit or with 3 or 4 digits. It's always going to be in twos. So that's why it's called an ordered pair. And this ordered pair is kind of like the direction for where you want to move around on the coordinate grid. So if you think of the coordinate grid like a map, and this is the GPS that's giving you the direction and telling you where to go, okay? The very first number in the ordered pair is always called the x coordinate. Okay, so the very first number in the ordered pair is the x coordinate. And this tells you how far you're going to move on the x-axis, which makes sense, right? X coordinate, x-axis. And in the same boat, the second number, and I'm gonna run out of room, I'm gonna have to go up here. This is called my y coordinate. And this number tells me how far to move on the y-axis, okay? Now, in order to appropriately move around on the coordinate grid, you need to think of it like a number line. So every little mark, and I have graph paper, so that helps me see things evenly spaced out. But every little mark on the x and y axis represents a number just like it would on a number line, okay? So these are usually numbered, they can be numbered by ones, they could be numbered by twos, they could be numbered by 5s, 10s, 15s, 20s, they could be numbered by hundreds or thousands. It all depends on what kind of information we're looking at, okay? So I'm just going through and numbering. Usually when you see a problem, that will already be done for you. Now, something that I want to do now is talk about how to plot the point. So we know that we have an x-axis and a y-axis. We know that we have ordered pairs, which are always two numbers. We know that the first number is the x coordinate and the second number is the y coordinate. But what does all of that mean? pair is going to give you the direction of where to draw on the grid. So all I have to do is listen and follow. I always tell my students when you're learning about the coordinate grid that you want to move over, then up, okay? So if you'll go ahead and do that with me just a few times. Over, then up. Over, then up. Over, then up, okay? So you always move over, then you go up. X, then Y, okay? In this case, my X coordinate is a 2. So I'm going to start at my point of origin, and I'm going to move 2 places, just like I would on a number line. I'm going to make jumps. 1, 2, and I'm going to end up right here. Now I'm going to look at my Y coordinate. My Y coordinate is a 4, so that tells me to make 4 jumps on the Y axis, starting at the point of origin. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a 2 and I have a 4, and I'm going to follow my grid lines to see where they meet. You can draw across the lines if you need to, okay? And then all I do to plot that point is draw a little circle. So in math class, when we're talking about coordinate grids, we have this crazy word called plotting, P-L-O-T, plot. And all that means is draw a little dot, okay? So now, if I were to give you another ordered pair, you should be able to graph it, no problems, on the coordinate grid, right? Let's see. Remember, they always look like this: a parentheses, a number, a comma, a number, and a parentheses. Remember that my first number in my ordered pair is my X coordinate. It tells me how far to move on the X-axis. And my second number is my Y coordinate. It tells me how far to move on my Y-axis. So in this case, I'm going to be using a green marker so we can keep separate from the pink. I'm going to move on the X-axis 3 jumps, just like I would on a number line. Always starting at that point of origin. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move 6 jumps on my Y-axis, starting at the point of origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to find where the 3 and the 6 meet, and I'm going to plot that point. So you'll notice that this one is a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher up because the Y number is larger. It's also a little further over because the X is larger, okay? So that is your super quick lesson on the coordinate grid. And if you have any questions, I am here, so let me know.